That's Wax and Facts in Atlanta, Georgia.
As you can tell, it's a very busy street and loud as hell here, but I was just in there picking up some stuff. I was there last year. It was a great shop. Decided to return, so let's see what I got. Greetings, y'all. Anyways, welcome to the episode. Today we're going to do the second video, the second stop in my little Georgia record store tour that I did. I'm up here, I mentioned in the first video, I'm up here kind of getting away from this hurricane that was blowing through Florida where we were working. And I'm up here in Newnan, Georgia, and decided to drive maybe 40 minutes, I guess, northeast to go to the Atlanta area, hit up a couple record stores. The second stop here is Wax and Facts, which I had actually been to before. I went there maybe a year and a half ago. I'll put a link down below if you want to watch my first visit to Wax and Facts. I was really looking forward to returning to the shop because my first visit, I remember just finding a ton of stuff, all used CDs, but the prices were like crazy, like $1, $2, just insane. So I just couldn't wait to get back there. And didn't find as nearly as much as the first time I went, but still found some really cool stuff. I mean, it's an amazing shop. The selection of used DVDs is, there's a lot of them. And they have a ton of new vinyl, a ton of used vinyl. They got some cassettes for those of you who are starting to buy those things again. And, the owners are really, really cool. I really like Wax and Facts a lot. So let's take a look at what I got this time. 1991, we've got the BoDeans and their album Black and White. $1. I've been sort of like, here's my receipt. Like I said, $1. You got, $1, $2. Yeah. Great shop, great prices, can't beat them. But like I said, or I was about to say, I feel like I've been kind of chasing the BoDeans recently. I've been picking up their CDs when I find them because I just remember listening to them in like it had to be like the late 80s, and there was just something, I just remember them, and I just can't remember what the song was, that I remember, and, I just feel like, I don't know that I found it yet, but I remember liking them, and so whenever I find any of their stuff in the used shops, I'll pick them up. Just kind of like one of those bands their albums are usually pretty enjoyable to listen to. It's like alternative rock. And I haven't really had a chance to dive into. I don't think any of this stuff that I'm going to show from Wax and Facts, I really have had the chance to dive into. I think I listened to a few of these tracks, and it's really good. Just a really good, cool band. That had minor success, but I really enjoying their discography. 1984, we have The Church and their album Remote Luxury, which I picked up for $2. I like The Church. I probably first discovered them, like a lot of people, with Under the Milky Way, which was 85 maybe? 85 or 86, I don't remember. Couldn't have been 87, could it? I don't know. But, I wasn't familiar with anything pre that, liked a bunch of their stuff after that. Saw this there and saw that it was like an earlier record and just decided, pick that up. $2, why wouldn't I pass it up, And the interesting thing about this record is this CD is, as you can see, it's on Arista. But apparently, the story behind this record is that they had signed to Warner Brothers, and Warner Brothers were going to release their stuff in the United States and they had put out 2 EPs recently, and Warner Brothers decided to combine those EPs, move the tracks around a little bit, and release it as Remote Luxury. This is not on Warner Brothers, but that's what this album is. I haven't listened to this at all, so I don't really know what their early stuff was like. Like I said, you know, Under the Milky Way and was it Gold Afternoon Fix, stuff that came out later in the 80s, you know, certainly had that kind of, you know, it was right down the path of like alternative rock and stuff. So I don't know if, you know, their earlier stuff maybe, you know, has a little more of a new wave flavor to it, or what, or post-punk, I don't know. But Australian band, you know, if you're not familiar, but a really good band, and I think they're still around, still making records and stuff to this day. I think they are. 2007, we get Those Dancing Days and their EP, self-titled. First discovered this band, they're from Sweden. First discovered them from their song called Hidden, which is, it's not hidden, it's hidden. Hidden. I don't know if that's coming across right. Hidden with T's. Anyways, I first discovered them from that song. I saw the music video on New York Noise, which I mentioned a lot. It was the music video show in the New York area in like the mid 2000s and around that time, and I really liked that song. Kind of, you know, kind of like pop, alternative rock in a way, but you know, edging a little more towards pop sounding stuff. But really good, and I picked up that album, and there's quite a few tunes on there that I like. Hittin' is on here. There's, I think, 2 of these songs are on the full-length album, so the other 3 aren't. So that sort of seemed to justify a purchase for me. You know, there's 3 tracks in here I'm not familiar with. $1, come on. But anyways, that's Those Dancing Days from Sweden. 1975, we got some vinyl. We got Hot Tuna and their album America's Choice. They kind of were part of that whole, like, I guess maybe that kind of like psychedelic scene, Jefferson Airplane, Grateful Dead. They were kind of running in those circles, I think. This record, the band becomes a trio. This record comes out during this phase of their career where they were kind of leaning more towards hard rock. Finally decided to pick this up. It was $6 there used. It's on Grunt Records, which is a subsidiary distributed by RCA. And yeah, just decided to pick it up. I mean, this is probably like their most popular record, and figured this would be a good place to start listening to them. There's a warning on here on this cover that looks like a Tide detergent thing that says, "Warning, this album to be played at full volume for maximum effect." So yeah, I'm really interested to check this out. And sort of on a side note, the drummer for this kind of period of the band, Bob Steeler, nothing's set in stone yet, but we're kind of working on this project with him that may see the light of day one of these days. But so that's kind of also why I picked this up, because we were working with this guy, and it just kind of, you know, it's like, yeah, you know, I gotta pick up one of his records just to kind of get into it and take a listen and stuff. You know, I know it probably sounds a little weird that I'm working on this film project with him and I'm not familiar with the music, but you know, it was sort of, you know, grouped up with somebody else to kind of get this thing rolling, and we're sort of discovering, you know, some of the stuff about his career and his life as we go. So, you know, it's kind of a different approach as you would. But yeah, so I'm really kind of interested to get home and put this on and just kind of give it a listen, and maybe I can hit him up for some questions and ask him certain things about this record that I'm curious about. But that is Hot Tuna and America's Choice, and that is it from Wax and Facts. Like I said, awesome shop. If you're in that area, definitely go check them out. And by all means, you know, let me know about, I also picked up this magazine that you could find in the Atlanta area, Record Plug magazine. Information about bands and stuff. I don't know if they're like all local bands, but yeah, kind of cool. But let me know these records, if you're familiar with them, point out some tracks that you dig, and let me know what you think of them. And I appreciate you watching, and get out there, support those local record stores. You got to keep them in business, man. So, please check them out and buy some stuff. And thanks for watching. We'll see you another time.